All right, I'm with Dr. Kendra. We're talking about, if you haven't noticed, you're walking in certain stores, you look on the shelves, whether it's Whole Foods or Walmart, you might notice there's an absence of water. Now, I find this interesting because just a couple of weeks ago, to be exact, 3 weeks ago, we had a shortage of baby formula, powdered baby formula. Now, there were certain brands that sold out, but there was a lot.
Water brands are missing on the shelves.
There are a lot of water brands.
I think it has a lot to do with the environment, what's going on, that we have a lot of people living in the world and not enough resources. That would be one logical explanation. And then we have global warming. And then we have inflation that's at an all-time high, where all the prices of produce and meat and dairy is rising. The gas prices are rising. And truckers, they need gas, they need fuel to bring us these resources. And if they can't afford to fill up their tanks to transport those resources to us, then we have a problem.
We do, and
we have a lot of things going on.
Now, here's a thought to you: is that we are a linear economy, which means we there's a phrase where you take, you use, you dispose, right?
Yes.
And what we're attempting to do with Like for the Recycle Challenge is become a circular economy, which means nothing goes to waste. If you take your cues from nature, nothing goes to waste in nature. I'm kind of scared to say this. Do we have solutions on what's the next option for us to consider?
One of the solutions is recycling. I'm even considering bringing reusable bags to the market when I go now. Although I use those bags when I get home, plastic bags, because you can use a bag to throw away a diaper,
right?
At our preschool or what have you. But when we're talking about becoming more sustainable, we really have to look at some things and make a lot of choices and a lot of decisions and a lot of changes. Because if we keep doing the same thing the same way,
we keep thinking the same expected
results. That's called lunacy.
Yeah. Here, but when we're talking about water, a very important source, you and I had been sharing that we've been taking bottles and putting them away. And I know in our home, we're putting those bottles away because we have a purifier so that when we get into a real crisis, we can take our water purifier out and start purifying the water that we've been using. Because we're not throwing away our glass bottles, although we do recycle to our local, glass half full NOLA, but we do recycle in our home at least by, we recycle like 75%, because we recycle our food, our organic food goes to a local farmer. So we don't, we do that and put it in our freezer, but now we're talking recycling that water and saving the water that we have the bottles for, filling it up. What I was saying is that we're recycling in our home the glass, the compost, and anything that we recycle to the garbage, so that brings down our carbon footprint, right? So if we begin to bring down our carbon footprint, we begin to not be as stressful to the planet as we are, because let me get us back on track and saying when we're recycling our habits into becoming more sustainable, and we're talking about water, what are the solutions that we can do around this water shortage that is going to be in and out? We've talked about, the truckers not being able to come. We know that the gas is high, but we've seen this before. This is a recession we've been in for the last 2 years. Let's not get it twisted. We've really been in this for about 4 years, but we're kind of forgetting. I don't know what people are thinking, but we've been in this recession for a while. So what are the things that we need to know about water? So let's get back on that. Water. What are the different types of water?
So we have spring water, which is considered one of the top-notch types of water.
Okay.
Where it comes directly from the spring.
Okay.
And then you have the artesian water, which is a great medicinal water.
Okay.
It's good for inflammation. It's good for pain. It's good for skin health. A whole plethora of health issues. And then you have your purified water, which is basically just tap water that's been ran through a system and flavor and minerals have been added to it to help preserve it and make it taste differently. And then we have our alkaline water.
There we go.
The pH balance goes up. We also have that. And, of course, you want to be careful with drinking that because too much alkaline water can basically throw the potassium off in your body.
Right.
So you want to have a combination of alkaline and regular water.
Right.
Which would be one of those other waters, spring, artesian, or purified.
Right. Right, right.
And then we have the oxygenized water with the high ions in it. And some companies do those. A good friend of mine, Pastor Fontaine, with his H2O water, where you can just drink a few drops of that at a time and you'll be okay. So there's plenty of types of water out there. We just have to decide what's best for us as individuals and look at it in terms of how can we have enough to sustain ourselves if, say, we're shut down or there's something that goes wrong where we can't have access to it. Just being able to have it stocked up in our houses and our businesses.
Because there is going to come a time.
Up in your house.
Yeah.
And if it's not in your business and you have employees, you know, how are you going to
sustain themselves? It's almost as though the COVID has made people who are aware, I'll just say it like that because everybody isn't aware, to go back to the basics. We've talked about this, and we talked about it with even the last thing we did on breastfeeding. So if you folks didn't see that, you should go to that particular discussion around breastfeeding. And now it comes to water. A basic necessity is attacking all the things that people need to buy at high volumes, baby formula, water. I mean, everybody buys water. Imagine how people in Flint, Michigan felt when they couldn't get water from the tap because it would kill you. So we really have to see water is under attack.
Yeah.
Or should I say water is being exploited. So that it's not accessible to people. We have a limited connection to water, and we're going to be seeing more of what we're experiencing. So the solution is to know more about the various types of water, but what's another solution that we can do besides, we talked about recycling water, keeping it stored somewhere. We talked about you can start buying various other types of water. Artesian water, ionized water, and start recycling your water out of your tap, and doing a purifier. I even heard that, and you and I talked about this as well, is there is a thing on a brand where it showed murky water. What's last words of wisdom you got for us?
And also, taking care of ourselves better in terms of eating foods that produce water in them. Like our green leafy vegetables, our fruit that has water, watermelon, things like that.
Right.
Just giving us those liquids that we need. It's very hot outside right now.
Right.
And we're going to see more of that in the next days to come, which will be this Thursday and Friday and Saturday of this week. So we have to be very cognizant of taking care of ourselves. There's even, the temperatures are so hot right now, and I think that's another reason why there's a shortage of water, because people realize how hot it is and they're trying to cool off.
Thank you for tuning into our discussion around water missing from the shelves with Dr. Kendra Andrus, also known as Kendra Lynn. And we thank you for this time and look for our blog to come out in regards to recycling muddy water. Is it possible? I thank you. I'm Madera Rogers Henry with the Recycle Challenge in Black Pearl Marketplace. And this has been a HealthNutSystem.com discussion.